Sounds better with us.
You're very welcome to this latest Opinions Matter podcast with Adrian and Jeremy, recorded live at our studio at the White Sands Hotel in Portmarnock in North County Dublin. Now, before I let you know what we want to talk about on this latest episode of Opinions Matter, I want to give a huge shout out to our current show sponsors, our Home Finance. Now, with Home, you can spread the cost of purchases up to €30,000 when buying online or in-store from any of their retail partners. Now, they have loads of different retail partners across a whole range of industries. And just to give you an idea of some of them, Easy Living Interiors, DID Electrical, DFS, Harvey Norman, B&Q. And what Home Finance helps you with is making a big ticket item more affordable, enabling you to spread the cost of paying for a big ticket item like a suite of furniture or a brand new cooker or whatever it is that you need. Home Finance can make larger purchases more affordable. And with Home, it's so simple. You can get approval through their website at shophome.com. In fact, go to the website and you will see exactly how many retail partners they are hooked up with. You go to the website and then you can apply for finance to purchase whatever it is you need to purchase right there and then on their website, shophome.com. And you can get, say, for example, a garden upgrade, technology, furniture, fashion, home improvements, jewellery, health and beauty, bikes, motorbikes. The list goes on and on and on. Shophome.com. And we would like to thank them for being the current sponsors of the Opinions Matter podcast. So what do we want to talk about on this latest episode of Opinions Matter? Is it fair that somebody who is living in a council house would be evicted for not paying their rent or for having significant rent arrears? It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen from time to time. And when it does happen, that somebody gets literally thrown out of where they've lived because they have rent arrears, some people aren't at all happy by this. They believe that it is not fair to be throwing somebody out on the street because they've hit on hard times and they literally can't afford their rent.
But there obviously has to be a cut-off point. And my point would be, if you are a council tenant, you're not paying a huge amount of money. Now, we'll find out from our guest who's coming on in a second. We'll find out exactly what the average rent is on a council house. But you're not paying. If I look at how much myself and my wife pay in a mortgage, there's nobody paying council rent what we pay in a mortgage. And I'm sure if you are a mortgage owner as well, listening to this, you are paying huge money. A lot of people are paying 3/4 of their wages go on. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're a council tenant, you're not being asked to come up with much. And if you can't do that, from what I believe, the council only do it as a last resort. They're not kicking people out over owing 500 quid or anything like that. It has to run up. So there has to come a point where the council turn around and say, you are taking the mick. You're literally taking the mick. We have no choice but to kick you out. And if that means you're homeless, you're not being asked to come up with much.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm reading some of the comments that we posted a message about this on our Facebook page before recording today. And a lot of the comments were from people saying things like it's an absolute disgrace that people are being thrown out when they've hit on hard times. Other messages, obviously people bring foreigners into every conversation.
Foreigners coming into
you're giving them houses and we're not giving our own people houses. People fall on hard times, cost of living, blah, 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 blah. I want to talk to a councillor from South Dublin Council, and his name is Councillor David McManus from Fine Gael. And David, you were highlighting to us a particular case with a massive amount in unpaid rent. Tell us, without obviously identifying the particular case, tell us what you know about this particular case.
Hi, Adrian. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago in the District Court, South Dublin County,
Right, guys, there's something good morning to everybody, but there's something very interesting about this, right? This podcast is meant to be opinion matters from Dublin and all that, but they're against the people. This is a radio station that are sponsored and given backhanders by the state, I'm telling you, right? And now, because of everyone's marching in the streets saying all the houses are going, all the apartments are going, all the housing is going to all the foreigners. Now, look what the topic is they picked today: people not paying their council tax. So I know it's a lot, but they're trying to smoke screen that and put the blame on us. So I think it's a very interesting topic. Andrew, Fable, um, who else is in there? Pickering, Mr. New York, everybody trying to do something different and just listen.
The council got authority from a judge to end the tenancy we had in place. It was for an individual who had ran up arrears over €20,000. And just to bring this back to the start, I hear people saying things like, somebody has a council house, it's great to get free rent. There's no free rent in a council house. People have to pay rent for it. But if you get a council house tomorrow from us in South Dublin County Council, and we're giving the keys to Adrian Kennedy, we give them 3 rules to follow in terms of being a good tenant. The first one is look after the property like it's your own. We'll look after the repairs, but please respect the property, look after it. Number 2, be a good neighbour. Don't be throwing any loud parties. Be a good neighbour. Be considerate to those around you. And finally, please pay your rent on time. And people will get into difficulty. We're fully aware of that. If people engage with us and explain to the housing officer something happened in the family, there was an unexpected bill that came in, we people and try and move heaven and earth to help people. Unfortunately, though, in the last number of years, this predates the recent cost of living difficulty that a lot of people are facing. The rent arrears in South Dublin is now around 10 million in South Dublin County Council alone. In Dublin City Council, it's about 36 million. And the average rent that we charged in recent years in South Dublin was about €55 a week. So if you're on a social welfare payment of about €240 a week, we will only ask you to pay 10%. So we'd ask you to pay €25 a week. If people get into difficulty, we're happy to sit down with them, give them advice, and we say to them, look, if you get your payment on a Thursday through the post office of €240 a week, immediately make sure that you pay your €25 a week to the council, keep everything on board, keep in touch and pay your rent.
Okay, just to clarify that, the average rent that South Dublin Council charge is €55 a week, okay? And in recent years, okay. And somebody who is on a social welfare payment, who is living on social welfare, will pay approximately, what did you say, €24-25 a week?
It's 10%. 10%. So if you have two people and the household income is €500 a week, we'll say to them, pay us roughly €50 a week.
€50 a week. Okay, so not a huge amount of money. So how is it then that somebody can rack up an arrears of €20,000? How does that happen, considering that the average rent, as you said, is €55 a week? It takes a long time to build up 20 grand's worth of arrears.
It does, and I've had people say to me that perhaps you're a bit too soft, and the impression is that you can get away with without paying your rent. We will sit down and engage with people. Once somebody goes into arrears, we'll send a letter, show them the latest statement in terms of where they stand. They should be paying €50 a week. In recent weeks, they've only been paying 30 or 40. And I think now the screw is beginning to turn in terms of people's realisation that the council is not a soft touch. And in cases where we believe people won't engage and won't stick to a payment plan, it comes to a point in the road where, sadly, we have to go to the district court, make a case to a judge to say, look, this is not working out. We've gone through every option available with them. We brought in the MABS, the Money Advisory Budgetary Service. We've sat down with them. We've given them advice. We've asked them to follow a certain schedule in terms of payments. And in some cases, people will come forward and say, right, I'll pay an extra.
Guys, do you know how much my rent is over here? Now, I know Ireland's much worse. That's why I had to come to the UK, because you might find a little dingy flat. Do you know how much I pay for my flat? My rented flat. This is my partner's house. I still pay rent every month. 3/4 of my dole. 3/4 of my dole. 800 quid it is. It's 800 quid a month for my tiny little flat, and I don't even live there. I don't even stay there. So, Fable, very interesting conversation. I want us to listen to something new instead of me chatting all the time. So,
€6 a week to make up for the arrears. That's great. That's appreciated. In other cases, people then break that repayment plan, and we're back to ground zero again.
So with this particular individual, with €20,000 in arrears, that has to have been racked up. I was just calculating there that took at least 6 or 7 or 8 years of literally not paying any rent.
Yeah, they may have been paying small amounts of rent. They may have been, due to pay 50 and only paying €10. That's how arrears can build up. But I think the important thing now is for people to realise, for anybody in difficulty, the council is not a soft touch. And the money you take in rent, the €50, where does that go to? When you need your boiler serviced or the door is hanging off the hinges and you need the door to be fixed, we have council.
Good morning, everyone. Jordan, welcome back in. Haven't seen you in a long time. Jono, I've been watching your texts there. I know, yeah, we barely have enough to pay. This is sponsored. I'm telling you, all these, I'm telling people to listen to this. That you, Jono, you were apparently a thug, a bad father, and a worthless bum because you go and protest. Oh, I just want to let you know that. They'll tell you. They'll tell you. Oh, it's not the state's being milked dry now. And all the places that could potentially house the Irish. Oh, none of that. No, we just don't pay our rent. That's all.
Who need the resources to go out and be able to repair properties, put in place new doors, new windows. So the money we take in rent, it's not going off to put in a playground, in another part of the county. The money stays in the housing budget, and that money will be ring-fenced for people in council houses, because when you have a house, you can't just let it run to wreck and ruin. The council has to be a good landlord. They have to step in every couple of years and do repairs to the house to keep the standards up. So the flip side of this is that, unfortunately, and you'll hear this from tenants in Dublin City Council as well, the property is not being maintained. There's black mould on the ceiling, the house is freezing, the heating system doesn't work. There's a lot of onus on us, and rightly so, to be a good landlord and to step in and do the repairs, and that's where that rent comes from. So the money comes in rent, and we use it to fix up the property as time goes on.
Okay. What is your feeling then, your personal view on somebody racking up €20,000 in arrears and eventually having to be taken to court to get rid of them, essentially? Would you like to see the council getting even stricter and not enabling somebody to rack up 20 grand's worth of arrears?
I think the council management now have started to tighten their approach in recent years. It's an unfortunate reality that for some people this is where they end up. And speaking to council management, it's not as if they haven't warned people and given them very clear indications as to the road they're on if they keep up this sort of activity. It's not just rent arrears as well now. There's other issues I could mention. Antisocial behaviour if the Gardaí are onto the council. There are other grounds for having to come forward to end somebody's tenancy, but it's only in the case of where very clear warnings have been given. But from speaking to council management, they are telling us there are a cohort of people who do not engage with us, unfortunately. And this is when we send somebody out to the house, we knock on the door and we explain to them we're from the council, we're from the housing office. We do need to sit down and have a discussion about this and work out some sort of plan. And if people have genuine difficulties and there's been something happen in the family or anything else, we're very willing to listen and to find a way to help them. But as it stands at the minute, our only option then is to go to the district court and ask a judge to terminate the tenancy.
Okay, David, I want to read a message that's just come into us this moment. And by the way, if you want to message us, our number is 085 825 2626. You can send us a WhatsApp or a WhatsApp voice note. But this message just come in from one of our listeners. Her name is Angie, and she says, so the council have just made this poor man homeless. Well, we don't know that it's a man, actually. He's another statistic and will be sleeping in a doorway. Eviction should never be an option. It is disgusting. How would you respond to that, David?
I also speak to lots of people who have a son or daughter who's on the housing list for many, many years, and they're eager to get a council house, and they say to me, my son Johnny, he's a carpenter, he's a plumber, he's a good person. If you give him the house, he'll look after it, he'll pay the rent, and he won't be coming to you wanting to get doors fixed and everything else. He'll be a good tenant. So I think in a time of housing crisis, the state has to step up. We're building a lot more social housing, which is badly needed. We also have to expect
this call is being recorded.
Oh.
This call is no longer being recorded.
We have to expect tenants to play their part and take responsibility and pay their rent on time.
Okay, so the argument is that at a certain stage, eviction is inevitable if somebody just won't engage, just won't pay their rent, and just wants to have nothing to do with paying their rent and racking up a huge debt. You're saying ultimately that has to end in eviction.
Yes, and that has been the...
So it's our fault now. It's the Dublin people. This, you might not get it. It's a couple of episodes they did. They're twisting it all on Irish people not working the right jobs, not paying that. They're twisting it all. This is daytime radio. They're twisting it. They're calling all of us scum, man. No, it's fucking weird.
Case now for the last 50, 60 years in terms of how local authorities have managed this issue. In terms of the country, if you look nationwide, it's Dublin City Council and South Dublin who seem to have the biggest difficulty in collecting rent. If you go outside Dublin to Cork or Tipperary or Limerick, they seem to have a much better record in terms of collecting rent from tenants. So,
sorry, David, this case in particular, obviously we can't name the individual. It was a person living on their own, was it?
I believe it was one person living on their own. It went to court and the judge agreed with South Dublin County Council that tenancy should end.
And do we know exactly how much this individual was expected to pay in rent on a weekly basis? Do we have that figure?
I wouldn't have that figure, but I can say that the average rent at the minute today is about €70 a week. In recent years, about 50, 55 euros a week, average.
Okay, so in order to, like I said, in order to run up an arrears of 20 grand, this person obviously paid no rent for years on end, or very little rent.
Yes, and they weren't able to explain to the council what the difficulty was. Like if somebody comes to us and says, listen, there was a death in the family, there's a funeral bill now between the siblings of a couple of €1,000, we will extend them a bit of support and give them time to try and manage their affairs. And again, we do sit down with people and say to them, you know, the first thing you should do when you get your payment, be it your wages from your employer or social welfare, put aside your money every week for the rent, for your food, for your ESB, for your gas bill, and then you have your few pounds for your own spending. You know, that's the sort of advice we give people. And I should say when I'm here, we do have lots of tenants who are actually they pay more than what's owed. So we have people who owe us €50 a week and they pay 55 or 60 euros a week. And then for the summer period or Christmas, they don't owe us anything. They can effectively not pay us for a few weeks because they're in the green rather than in the red, if that makes sense. They're in credit.
Okay, where somebody like this particular individual was clearly...
This radio station will never ever tell what's going on with the Irish people. They don't want to be people on the radio giving out about this and that. They want the government, the police, the agencies, they're all saying, let's flip the blame. We need propaganda. We flip the blame. I don't care if someone's 20. That's only one person. Most people are struggling every day to pay their fucking rent.
Taking the piss, basically, not engaging, not paying, and just hoping it'd all go away and that the person wouldn't be evicted. But ultimately, that has to happen.
Yes, and the arrears in South Dublin are about 10 million a year. That's money that we could use to maintain and look after council properties, or even perhaps build more council houses, which is badly needed. And in Dublin City Council, the arrears at the minute are around 35, 36 million. So I think Dublin City Council are also going down the very same route for tenants who will not engage.
So the council is publicly saying, not telling any about facts and money and all that's been spent to house all this shite that I'm not academic enough to tell you, but it's all our fault. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel now and saying, all these people suck my asshole.
And don't stick to any sort of repayment plan, unfortunately.
All right, Councillor David McManus, Fine Gael Councillor for South Dublin Council, thanks very much indeed for joining us on the Opinions Matter podcast. It's that message I really want to debate with you from Angie, and I'll read it to you again. So, the council have just made this poor man homeless. He's another statistic and will be sleeping in a doorway. Eviction should never be an option. It is disgusting, says Angie. What's your view on that, Jeremy?
But if that individual that's after being kicked out because the house has been repossessed, if he was a private tenant renting from a
He's not, though. He's not, though.
No, but if he was, he would have been gone after missing 2 months' rent.
Yeah.
And I know I've been in the rent.
Guys, her ex's new partner is named Jolene, so it rings a bell every time we hear Jolene. We're all making fun of it. Jolene. It's a fucking every fucking time.
Situation I've rented before. I rented property, and it was pretty much written in black and white on our contract that if you didn't pay the rent, The landlord will come in and literally turf you out.
Okay, but if somebody is...
But the council is a landlord.
I'm aware of that, but
Jesus,
at the end of the day, this guy... we don't actually know if it's a man or a woman, okay? But this individual
let's say for argument's
obviously had hit hard times.
Hard times we are. So it's hard times, and this individual, was being asked to come up with what? Max 50 quid a week.
Something like
Max
that, yeah.
50 quid a week, yeah? On top of all, you have to remember, by the way, guys, on top of all the other allowances that person would have been getting, whether they were on low income or whether they were unemployed, they were getting this huge safety net wrapped around them. Like a roof, a house. By the way, this wasn't an apartment. This was a house, as in, upstairs, downstairs, chimney, the whole lot. So that person was getting a huge property for 50 quid a week. When there's people
Jeremy, this is obviously an individual that was living on very little means, okay?
And literally giving up the finger to the rest of us. I'm sorry, there's people who are out working 60... There's people...
Let me go back to Angie's message.
Let me finish this.
What the council have done is they have made this poor individual another homeless statistic. Okay?
No, they're going to give the house to somebody who will actually not take the piss. There are people listening to this podcast now, the middle class, the hard workers, who are doing 60 hours a week. They're driving from Meath up to Dublin every day for work. They're putting loads of money in their tank, and they're living in 2-bedroom boxes, less than the size of the house that fella was living in, and they're paying either rent or mortgage.
I can't find me pick. How's everybody? Scott, how are you? What's up, JW Owen from Kentucky? Welcome in. We've got Baltimore in the house. I know, yeah. I'm going to play it now in a second. It's a good radio station. I'm trying to learn how to play it without my pick, guys. I've been told I need to be able to feel the strings. Don't know where my pick is. Listen in, guys, for a little bit. Jude will go live soon in a minute. Phone. Sorry, guys. Bear with me a second now. I'm trying to do multitasking here. Layla. For fuck's sake, bro.
Bottom line is you've absolutely no sympathy for this individual, regardless of their circumstances, for being thrown out on the street.
How could you have?
825-2626 if you would like to get involved in conversation. And Lorraine, I'll talk to you in just a moment after we hear from Keith.
Oh yes. I'm in a corporation house and I'm paying 500 quid a month. Me and the 2 kids are working. So I don't know how you get that you're not paying an awful lot. I think it depends on your job and stuff. I'm not too sure how it works, but that's what I pay. Anyway, thanks.
So Keith, sorry, I just want to go back on your message for 1 second.
I'm in a corporation house. Yeah. I'm paying 500 quid a month.
500 quid a month you're paying in rent. And you think that's a lot, Keith?
That's Keith, do you? With the greatest of respect, that is.
And importantly, both you and your son are working. You just
kids, 2 kids.
Hang on, let me hear. Hang on. I said.
You get that you're not paying an awful lot. I think it depends on your job and stuff. I'm not too sure how it works, but that's what I pay. Anyway. I'm in a corporation house and I'm paying 500 quid a month. Me and the 2 kids are working.
Me and the 2 kids are working. So that's three people working in the house. And they're paying 500 quid.
So you're literally asked to come up with about 160 quid. Again, that's not the real world we're living in, because in the real world there were people paying 1,800 quid, £2,000 for 2-bedroom boxes in Dublin. That is not a lot of money to have to come up with. Or am I living in the dream world here?
And as Amanda just said, Keith, I know you're living in a bit of a dream world, because 500 quid a month is a bargain and a half, as Amanda just said.
If you were private renting, Keith, you wouldn't get a kennel for that. Boarding a cat or a dog when you go away on holidays
It's more expensive.
More expensive.
Lorraine, you're on Opinions Matter. How are you, Lorraine?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, thanks, Lorraine. What do you want to say on this?
Council didn't make him homeless, he made himself homeless.
Well, no,
I'm sorry.
ultimately the
How do you
council
rack
did,
up-
because they took it to court.
How do you rack up 20 grand worth of debt for rent? You know it has to be paid. I'm in a council house. It comes out of my bank account every week, my rent. Like, how do you rack up 20 grand of debt in rent?
I don't know, and a lot of people think it shouldn't ever get to that stage. If you miss 2 months' rent, you should be thrown out. But a lot of people believe that you shouldn't ever be thrown out, because
If he was in a private house, he'd be turfed out straight away.
he's not in a private house. He's in a state-subsidised house, and that's what a council house
That's
is.
sticking his 2 fingers. That's him sticking his 2 fingers up at everybody. Basically, I get to live here for nothing. You go, I get to stay here for nothing. No, I totally disagree. I think he should be turfed out.
What about the message then from Angie saying that the council have just made this poor individual homeless?
He made himself homeless, as I said. You don't rack up 20 grand worth of debt and expect to stay in the house.
I'm sure when the court case came around, he said, "Please bear with me. I'll get to it. I'll make payments and everything else." The council obviously don't believe him, because he hasn't up to this point. And by the way, we're assuming that this person is a man.
That person. I'll stop saying man. I'll say
no, I'm saying it as well. But you think that it is reasonable at a certain point that the council throw people out?
Yeah, it's him taking the absolute preferable piss and sticking his 2 fingers. As I said, I am in a council house. I live in a council house, and my rent comes out of my bank every week, so I know it's paid. You also get a card where you can go and pay for it in the post office. You know your rent has to be paid.
And I'm sure this person knew their rent had to be paid as well, but just hit on hard times.
I'm sorry. No, I just think it's wrong. You know your rent has to be paid. Your rent, your electricity, all of that has to be paid before everything else.
Stay there for 1 second if you can, please. Our number is 085 825 2626. Sorry, go on.
I'm sorry, you'll probably need to take a headache.
Now, guys, that programme has just started, so if you're enjoying it, let me know. How are you, Jimmy Newsman's? What's happening? Jono's in there. We've got Jolene's in there. We've got Fable. We've got Eben. Eben, what's happening? Good morning, Hammy. What's happening? Patricia Swayze. What's happening? Slimes. I'm just learning. I only have mine 3 weeks, maybe 4, and I'm just trying to learn, pick it up every time. So I'm just gonna let you listen to a bit of banter, you know.
Our good friend John.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the comment he made?
No. Oh, the council
The
are
council are
scumbags.
scumbags for kicking him out. So the council are the bad people. How are the council the bad people here?
It's the Opinions Matter podcast with Adrian Kennedy and Jeremy Dixon. A podcast from Ireland with a difference.
Need something now but want to spread the cost? With Hum, you can shop at thousands of stores with easy, flexible payments. No hidden fees, no stress. Apply today at shophum.com. More life for your money. Flexify Europe Limited trading as Hum is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Well, John, how are the council the bad people here?
Well, what the fuck is the point? What
do you mean, what's the point?
I don't get this. Okay, right. Let's call it spade. So we kick him out, okay? So he's out on the street, okay? Then he needs to be put in a hostel. Then he needs to put it wherever he is, a hotel, a hostel. I don't know where he's going to go. And then he's going to go back into the housing system. How does this fucking make sense? How does making people, some people homeless, make sense here? And we need to sit down and dialogue with whoever he is or whatever this guy is.
John, for this individual,
he needs to be brokered here. Here, Jesus, I don't believe in making anybody homeless. There's no excuse for making someone homeless.
Okay, but there's also no excuse to run up €20,000 in arrears.
I get that. I don't know what's going on there, or what he did, or what he's been through.
In order to run that up, the council obviously engaged with him over the years, and he literally ignored them and thought the problem might go away.
Look, again, Adrian, I don't know the circumstances, how he came to this route of 20,000, but I do know this. Kicking them out and evicting them is not the answer. There's people losing their homes all over the Ireland of Ireland. Whether they're in rented accommodation, whether they're in state funded accommodation, or in mortgage accommodation. This has got to stop. We only heard there last week, Adrian, 150 million for the City West Hotel for the Night Pass Centre. Look, I sent that message into you. What about a rent amnesty for people? Okay, give them a chance. Give them a fucking chance and give them a rent amnesty. There's plenty of money in this country. Give them a rent amnesty and say, okay, listen, here's the story.
So hang on, John, reward people who don't pay their rent.
No, it's not a reward by no means. As I said to you already, it was 150 million bought as an iPad centre. Can we not do a deal with this guy? Can somebody not see this? South Dublin County Council is fucking huge. Can some idiot not in that office make a deal with this guy instead of fucking him out in the streets? Tell me that. Is there not nobody down there going around and taking?
They've only taken this to court at the end of this process. In other words,
look. I went through this with a friend of mine, okay, and I've helped him along the way. And look, I know exactly what.
Guys, I have a shop coming. I have one of them home deliveries coming any minute, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. But I'm going to leave you with the radio, guys. We all know what I sound like. We all know what it's like to smoke a doob and talk shit. So if Jude goes live, we're going jumping on him, and we're going to go out and we're going to fucking celebrate today. Or just whatever.
Do get your heads, Adrian, and they hope it's going to go away, and it doesn't. And this is what happened to this guy. I don't know the circumstances. I only know the circumstances where I helped my friend that he thought it was going to go away. I said, listen, we got to hit this on the head. We got to nail this on the head, or these fuckers are going to start boarding up the house.
So what you're saying is, for people in arrears, we should have a rent amnesty. And
of course, I don't see why not.
And wipe the slate clean for everybody.
Wipe the slate clean and say, listen, here it is now. You're getting a second chance. Don't fuck it up.
So why are me and my wife paying the guts of $2,000?
You chose to do that, Jeremy. I went with you. Hold on. We had this before, Jeremy, okay?
No, we haven't had it before.
You chose to go and buy your own home. This guy didn't go and buy his own home. Okay, you haven't got the money to go and buy it.
Okay, so I'm the mug here, am I? Because we're paying.
I'm not saying you're the mug. You called yourself a mug there. I never called you a mug. I'm just saying it doesn't make fucking sense, Jeremy, to put a guy out on the street.
Okay, but you know what doesn't make sense? You know what doesn't make sense then, John? It doesn't make sense that we're paying to go to $2,000 a month on a mortgage when we could just pack in.
That's going to be your home. You have the means to do that, Jeremy. You have the means to do that. You have the means to run a car.
It's called getting a job.
It's called getting a job. No, fair play. Here, look, you're getting your blue pizza badge. It's on the way.
I'm not looking
but
for
the fact of the matter is, we don't know the circumstances of this guy and how he got here.
But John, as I said, for somebody to run up $20,000 worth of
rent, I know it's heavy. I get it.
That person literally has to have given the two fingers.
I don't think anybody's giving the thumbs up or the fingers if he's getting fucked out. I really don't. I don't know where you have to come with this. He's giving the fingers.
Okay,
he's not.
All right. We'll stay there for a second. Lorraine, what do you say to all of that? That we should have an amnesty for people in rent arrears, and it makes
How does that make sense? How does that actually make sense? What's the point then of anybody paying rent? In that case, we're going to wipe the slate clean for everybody. Everybody don't pay your rent.
This is obviously historical, Lorraine. That's why. This is obviously historical. It's obviously going on. This didn't only happen over the few years, the last year or two.
That's my point. But John, he hasn't paid. He's racked up $20,000 worth of debt.
Lorraine, the answer is not to throw him out and make him homeless. It's not. I don't care what anyone says here today.
Jeremy racked up $20,000 worth of debt tomorrow in his house. He'd be turfed out.
The fact of the matter is, he shouldn't be. You know, what's the point in it, Lorraine? Because I tell you why, he's going to go back through the system again, all the way back around, through
He shouldn't go back
hotels.
to the system. He should be told, sorry, tough.
I want to leave him on the streets, Lorraine. Leave him on the streets. Is that the way it is?
20 grand worth of debt.
I should, Jesus, shoot him, for fuck's sake, if that's the case. You know, he racked up 20 grand. As I say, Lorraine, I don't know why he did. I don't know why, you know, but the fact of the matter is, this is it. He has. And the fact of the matter is, fucking him out in the streets is not going to fucking change this.
Okay, Lorraine,
Lorraine,
let's deal with that for a second. Throwing this individual out on the street, which is what has happened now. This person has been evicted from this South Dublin Council property. All that is going to achieve is absolutely nothing. It will achieve nothing except making this individual homeless.
But our agent, he racked up this 20 grand debt. He did this to himself. The council didn't do it. The council tried to engage with him before all of this happened. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they didn't want to make him homeless. I'm sure they engaged with him before this. So this whole argument of sticking your head in the sand is bollocks, because I'm sure the council engaged with him before this. Why not give it to somebody who'll actually pay for it? If that had to been Adrian or yourself or Jeremy who racked up that type of debt, the bank could take the house back.
Yeah, of course it would, yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. What's the difference?
Well, John, what is the difference?
Because of the council house.
I'm not covering this already, Lorraine. I'm actually going through this. People have lost their houses through mortgages and through, you know, no matter what it is. So, you know, rents here in Ireland, you know, whatever you're renting, you know, renting houses for mortgage companies that came for them for you know, literally, you know, 6,000 or 7,000 euros. But the fact of the matter is, now it's the council on people. So it used to be the mortgage companies evicting people. Now it's the council. It's not going to work. This is never going to work. Evicting people, it's never going to work. I don't care what any of you say. It's not going to work. This needs a different approach. It needs. I don't know what approach this is, Adrian, Lorraine, Jeremy. But the fact of the matter is, putting people out on the streets, back into the system and back around again.
But your solution is an amnesty for people.
I'm only throwing stuff out there.
Okay, we'll work with that as a solution, and that is literally rewarding people who just have.
I'm not trying to reward anybody, but as I said to you already, and I just, you know, I have to keep throwing it into the conversation. 150 million for a hotel up to, you know, City West there. You know, no, hold on, please, Jeremy.
John, no, I can't. John, hang on. I actually can't speak to you at the moment. I'm actually on the phone to my mortgage holder. Just bear with me 1 sec to Bank of Ireland.
Yeah, you're okay. You've plenty of money anyway, JG. You've plenty of money.
No, I don't.
But the fact of the matter is,
Bank of Ireland. Sorry, I'm through to them now. Bank of Ireland, can you do me a favour? I just
plenty of money.
Take
a mortgage break there. You want to go to the fucking, wherever you go. You know, out to Rome there for a few weeks.
I'm explaining to them, John, that I want to bring the kids to Lapland, and I don't.
I know you do. You can take a mortgage break there. Yeah, it's there for you. You can take 2 weeks break.
Yeah. 2 weeks break on a mortgage. Yes. Are you actually serious?
Hang on, Eddie wants to get involved in this conversation. How are you, Eddie?
Good afternoon, chaps. On behalf of everybody in the comments, John, may I say, get your fucking shit together. You're an absolute fucking moron. You're an absolute divvy cunt. Yes. You're saying give him a chance, a rent amnesty. He had 8 years of a fucking chance.
About everybody here, Eddie. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about everybody.
No, we're talking about this fucking case.
I'm talking about in general, Eddie. I'm talking about in general.
Do you know what's brilliant about it? Shut up, you dope. It's my turn. Do you know what's fucking brilliant about this? This person is in a house, a 3-bedroom house on their own. So now he's fucked out because of his own fucking stupidity.
Give him a bungalow. Give him a one-bedroom bungalow.
A family of 4 or 5 will go in there now. Fucking brilliant.
Okay, claim all you like and call me what the names you like, Eddie, okay? But I'll tell you this, okay?
If you're in front of me now, I'd fucking punch your head in your mouth.
You will alright, Eddie. You will alright.
Honestly,
you will alright.
You're absolute fucking
gobshite. You will be alright.
Every opinion you have is against the grain. You're a fucking moron.
Okay, enough.
Absolute fucking moron.
Eddie.
Does Eddie not understand where this is coming from? So okay, Eddie, now. Right, calm down, Eddie. So okay, Eddie, right? We throw him out into the streets, Eddie, okay? He's homeless there tonight or whatever night, okay? And then he has to go back through the system. Eddie, can you not see where I'm going here, Eddie, okay?
He won't go back through the system. They won't give him another house. He's fucked up. The way he lived for 20 years.
He's fucking
homeless. He'll go on the housing list. He'll go on the housing list, but he'll never get housed.
He'll have to be put back into the hotel or whatever it may be, Eddie, and they will eventually have to rehouse them, Eddie. But the fact of the matter is, even
20 fucking years, wait, John.
Right, okay, it's 20 years.
It's his own fault. It's his own fucking fault.
That's your opinion,
Eddie, let me ask you this, okay? Is John not making some sense in what he says?
Of course, I make
no,
sense.
In that evicting
he wants to reward people.
No, evicting an individual like this with rent arrears is not helping anybody with anything. All it's doing is throwing somebody onto the homeless list and literally throwing them to the wolves. They should have tried harder. They should have given him some sort of an amnesty.
Adrian,
and let him
I've
stay
told
where
you
he
the
was.
solution to this. I told you the solution to this years ago. There's two people at fault here. That fucking degenerate that wouldn't pay his €50 fucking rent, and secondly, the council for letting it go this far. We live in the digital age. All they had to do is go, give your bank account details, blah, 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 and take it from source. If he doesn't have a bank account and he goes down once a week, the cashier in the post office says, right, your fucking dole is 240. This week we're giving you 215. We're taking your money out. We're controlling it because you can't.
Asian. Can I say this, Eddie? Okay, Eddie, I'll give you this, and you have got a very good, valid point here. You see, at the moment, and we all know there's a system there in the post office there that you can opt into this if you want, and you get it's the payments that comes out of the dole or whatever they get, and it can be paid. So let's call a spade here. If you were, it should be taken out automatically for any resident that has a council house or a Dublin Corporation house. The rent, it shouldn't be a locked-in situation. It should be made mandatory. If that's the case, Eddie, that's the way it should be. So you don't have an option. Your rent is going to be taken out every week. So when you're signing for your fucking case for your council house, your corporation house, it should be in there in the clause. Oh, by the way, your money will be taken out every week, as you say. And that's I agree with you on that. I agree with that. I do. And I always agree.
There wouldn't be a 10 million deficit.
I agree.
I always say the same.
John, just to go back to the point, and Eddie just mentioned it, South Dublin Council is owed 10 million in arrears. Dublin City Council is owed 36 million in arrears because they're not throwing people out quick enough, basically. You can't allow people to just continue to give the two fingers to the state, providing them with housing.
But even what Eddie said, look, I'm just going back again, what Eddie said, but again, get these people in, get them to sign a form, listen, your money's going to be coming out every week, and that's it, you know what I mean? And that's the way it should be, Asian.
Oh, John, hello, wait, John, wake up.
Jerry, here we go, smart arse again.
No, you honestly, that's stupid that you don't realise that someone who is renting a property from the council doesn't realise they have to pay rent. It's a straightforward. No, you don't get it. You're saying they did. No, you're saying
you think that he racked up 20,000 over 2-3 weeks, 3 years? It didn't. This happened over a very serious amount of time. This is what I'm saying, Jerry. And now they're coming knocking. Sorry, guys.
Hang on.
Now they're coming knocking for their 20 grand, and we're going to fuck you out. Over what? That would be a 10-year period.
They're never going to get the 20 grand. I think everybody knows
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. This is why there should be an amnesty there, because they know quite fucking well they're not going to get the 20 grand. Now they're saying, well, we're going to fuck you out now. Here, come on now. You're calling me an idiot, Jerry.
No, but it's taken years to get to that point that they are going to throw. And what's
the point in this? That's what my point is, Asian. It's just a fucking circle. Let's fuck people out of homes that didn't pay their rent. And what do? Stick them in hotels, stick them in provision centres, stick them everywhere around the country. This doesn't solve the fucking problem, Asian. And it never will. Okay. And I don't agree with evictions, and I never will either.
Okay, stay there for 1 second if you can, please. I want to bring in more opinions. This is what?
Can I just ask John a question? You don't believe in evictions. I bet you believe in evictions for private tenants or people with mortgages. Do you think, John, because I rang my mortgage company there when you were rabbiting on, and they won't let me stop paying the mortgage for some reason because they need to run a bank. Do you think I should just be able to stop my mortgage down under that roof for 5 years? Do you think I should be able to do that?
You're being smart. You No, look, if for whatever reason something happened in your life there, you should be allowed at least a couple of months to get your shit together. And
that's what's called mortgage protection, which I have.
Well, here we go. What are you fucking asking me for? This is not a fucking mortgage situation. This is a local tenancy agreement situation, Jeremy. So don't keep showing on a mortgage situation. You're well and you're entitled. Look, you are being paid. You work hard. I'm not dishing you for this. So don't be making it out to be about you. You have I presume you don't even have a mortgage because you have been fucking working your ass off for so many years.
So of course I have a mortgage.
Well, okay, if you have. But the fact of the matter is, we're talking about a tenancy agreement here, not a mortgage.
But I
don't want to see people evicted. I don't. No, I don't.
You said, okay, that's...
No, what he has said principally is he's against evictions.
And I am. And I always will be.
And I asked you, should I stop paying my mortgage to Bank of Ireland and just be let live there rent-free?
No, because the fact of the matter is that you know quite well, Jeremy, that I don't know what you're asking me here. You know quite well if you stop paying your mortgage, you're going to... I told you already there, it may have there was fucked out of 6-7 grand. You know, I'm not to tell you, but I'm against any evictions.
So just live rent free for the rest of your days.
No, I didn't say that. You give people a break there and get them to at least get their shit together. Yeah.
Stay there for a second, John. Let me bring in more of your opinions. And Linda, I'll be with you in 1 second. This is Joe.
Morning, boys. How's it going? Just looking there. Who's accountable for the person with $20,000 arrears? It's definitely the person that's supposed to pay the rent, but it's also due to the landlord too. 20,000 on council place is a lot of weeks, a lot of months rents missed. Like, I understand you got to pay your way in this world, but something has to come down to the landlord. Like, I don't feel sorry for the person with a $20,000 arrears, but somebody has to be accountable, and it has to be the landlords to get their shit together and figure out how they can get the rent back quicker or repossess them when they're at a $2,000 or a $5,000. Maybe talk to them then, but not $20,000. They should wipe it clean and let them move on again.
Opinions Matter. With Adrian Kennedy and Jeremy Dixon. A daily podcast from Ireland about opinions.
On an LNER train, you can go on a big day out, or you can just hang out. You can read a book, or you can write one. You can BLT, or you can G&T. You can zombie apocalypse, or rom-com marathon. You can clear your inbox, or think outside the box. All this, or absolutely nothing. With food and drink served to your seat and space to stretch your legs on an LNER train, it's freedom all the way. Book direct at lner.co.uk.
Big purchase on your mind? With Hum, you don't have to put it off, because you can spread costs with easy, flexible payments at thousands of stores. No hidden fees and no stress. It's simple. Apply online today at shophum.com and start shopping smarter. Hum. More life for your money. Flexify Europe Limited trading as Hum is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Linda, you're on the Opinions Matter podcast. How are you, Linda?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, Linda, what do you want to say on this? A man, we're assuming it's a man, and for the sake of this conversation, we're assuming it's a man. A man is evicted out of his South Dublin council house with 20 grand in arrears, and John's saying nobody should be evicted ever.
Well, I don't agree that nobody should be evicted ever, but I do believe it should be a last resort. And I think in the public sector and in the private sector, being mortgages and whatever, that there's a procedure that they both follow. And it takes a long time for it to get into court and, to build up a huge amount of arrears. There's a procedure even before that, which I think the councillor actually said, that all those avenues have been exhausted. Like, I don't believe that either of them want to go to court because it costs them money to bring people to court. It's not always going to go in their favour. But to build up a debt of €20,000, and I believe that councillor said that they did try to exhaust all avenues to come to some sort of an arrangement, but it obviously wasn't engaged in. So you can't just let somebody go for X amount of years and not engage with the people they owe money to. And, they're living, as you said, in a 3-bedroom house. for, I don't know how much he was paying.
But according to the councillor, the average rent at the time over the last number of years would have been €55 a week. If this person was living on welfare, it would have been an awful lot
10%,
less. Yes, it would have been 10%
of their income. Yeah. Which, as I said, it's just people are saying you should give them a chance. But by all accounts, as I said, it takes a number of years to build that amount of arrears of €20,000 up. So obviously, over the years, they were given the chances. But as I said in my comments.
Sorry, let me just go back to John for a second, Linda. And John, this is what I was saying to you a while ago. This was the last resort. Taking this individual to court was the last resort.
I might have been trying to even work it out, but fair play to Linda, she worked it out for me. Why hasn't anybody been in touch with this guy 5, 6, 8, 10 years ago?
I've absolutely no doubt they were in touch with him all that time.
I don't think they were. I think that they get the kind of here, look, you owe 20 grand, get the fuck out of here.
Sorry, John. John, can I just say to you, like you say nobody has been in touch with him. They obviously had to be, because a judge wouldn't take a case where there was no correspondence.
I get that, Linda. Like you said, Linda, I was here before with a friend of mine. They showed me the court letters. We're the big shit here. I said, no, they're not. I said, I'll get you onto a solicitor there and we can sort this out. And they did sort it out. And they did come to an arrangements. And they did, I get what you're saying. And I do. I understand.
I agree with you. That's why I am agreeing with you in that sense that, there is other avenues out there. Like, of course. I worked in a solicitor's office for 25 years. But what I'm saying is, we've come across this before, that there's always a way out, if you engage. Do you know what I mean? So what I'm saying, for it to go on for so long, there obviously was some communication between them, and it just didn't come to fruition for either side.
I think to somebody, high up there in whatever councils they are, saying, listen lads, here, we're about fucking 20 million here, without, we're about 40 million here, without, whatever it may be, in a collective, there's probably 100 tenants there that owe big money, and it's coming in there, that big bill. They're being told to get it or get it sorted, and that's what I believe, Linda, is happening here now. That
John, let's be honest. Let's call it spade a spade. This person, this individual, knows bloody well they had run a massive debt with the council. Okay.
Yeah, Adrian, and amnesty, anything you say, I don't know exactly what it is, but I was just throwing stuff out there later on. As I said, what Eddie said here on, take it out of money, make it mandatory that it comes out of money every week, or do something. Don't be fucking around the street. What's that going to achieve? I don't know what we were no homeless people on the street.
Linda, let's just deal with that for a second. So this is a person that did have a roof over their head and now doesn't have a roof over their head. They're essentially homeless. What does that achieve?
It's kind of a catch-22, really. The way I see it is, of course, you don't want to make anybody homeless. I mean, it's impossible. But at the same time, you can't keep putting your head in the chopping block and trying to come to some sort of an arrangement with somebody who either, now again, like I'm surmising that, all of that was put to this person in court. Is there anything you can do now to stop this eviction?
I smushed it. I'll do another one. I'll do 2. Anyway, I'm just doing a few bits. I'm boring. I even bored myself lately, so I want to listen to the radio. Jude, if you're watching this, as soon as you go live, I'll end my live. And I'll listen to you, But I'm waiting on the delivery here, so I have to get things clean to put it all in, because your man's going to be waiting. So, everybody, good morning. Everybody, I'm having a good one on Blizzard. Got some Cali this morning. Cost a fortune, yay! How about you lower your prices and there'll be less fucking stress in this community? How about that? Have you ever thought, I'll be the one to lower the price? I'm still waiting to meet that guy. Good morning to everybody.
Can you pay this amount? Can you do this? Can you do that? And, we don't know the court case, what happened there. But I would assume a judge would have asked the tenant all those questions. Is there any way you can help yourself to stop this eviction? And, you know, if he or she, the judge, came to a decision that the council were in their rights to evict him, obviously, she's heard, whatever it is, male or female judge, they have heard the whole case, so they know all the circumstances. We don't. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to comment on the man's situation.
But as you said yourself, Linda, and the councillor said as well earlier on, this was a last resort. This is after the council engaging with this individual for years on end. Please pay your rent. Can we help you in any way? Here's a rental plan. Here's a payment plan to clear your arrears, and nothing obviously happened over that time for that 20 grand to rack up. And John, ultimately, there has to be a sanction for not engaging and not paying your rent.
But, even Linda said there, can you, like I said to you already, Adrian, if you're signing even a new lease there, if you got a new lease, listen, the money I don't know what councils are doing. If councils are giving away houses, or you're giving out houses to people that need them, they need to sign the form there that's saying, listen, this money will be mandatory taken every week and every month out of your account, whether you like it or not. It needs to be done. They avoid this in the future, because, again, but you owe 1 grand or 20 grand. Nobody should be I don't want to see people being
Okay, let me go to Michelle. You're on Opinions Matter. How are you, Michelle?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks, Michelle. What did you want to say on this? Is it fair that somebody is evicted for 20 grand arrears?
Yeah, it's more to the story, I think, personally. I think it seems that maybe he doesn't really care. In a 3-bedroom house as well, was a family house that maybe the parents or something died of.
I bet you this fella's been in prison. How are you? Let me quickly click on you. Welcome to the group, everybody. I guarantee that fella was in prison. He's after doing 15 years. That's what they're doing. They're trying to say, don't worry about the foreigners doing this and that. You've got your own people. Yes, so what? How can someone pay rent when they've been in prison for 15 years? Stupid cunts. Someone stole me fan of me fucking flag. So I'm looking out for the cunt. I told my missus to put it up on the community page and all. She says, really? I says, yeah, fucking really. Tell them. She tells them all I'm disabled. Well, apparently I am disabled, guys. You know what I mean? I'm a bit of a liability in the workplace. And I said, I'm going to find out who did it, and I'm going to bring you to your ma's gaff, and I'm going to slap the shit out of you in front of your outlet. You will not decimate the flag. We will die for the flag. Me and my mama was born on the flag. I flag you right now. And I'll just stare at him. Don't let me ever catch you doing that again. He'd be like, but I'm only 7. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. Like, does it look like I care? Sorry guys. How is everyone now? I can't keep up with the chat now, hold on. Trying to clean dog food out of the thing, it's a great job, Little lumps of it, it's great. Get used to it. It's like a sporting event. How much you can get in the one handful. By that lonely prison wall when Jolene called. My missus is going to get her nails done, guys. Think she's going to get top and toenails. Yee-hoo! Hubba. She's like, I ain't get this for you. Shit. You thought I got this for you? I'm like, shit. Fuck you and your nails. I got some caddy. Fuck all you hoes. Right, this me Turkish coffee just is gonna make now in a minute. This is a broken glass, which is someone will get off the face. Put that somewhere. Snafe. Safe. See, that's a new word for safe. Snafe. That'll do. And I'm partially blind, and I know I need a haircut, guys. I look like I've got a Shetland ponytail. I know. The barber's is up there. Right. No, I don't need medication. What happened to yours, Finn? Oh, they brought it to the wrong address, you see. You mean your really important medication that you pay premium for and they make you wait 2 weeks for? They arrived at the wrong address. Yeah, it did. Wankers. Don't talk to me like that. Yeah, fuck you. She. Not today. She, I've been waiting for this. She. Constantly cleaning cat stuff and all, you know what I mean, like. Hope everyone's alright. I'm seeing a lot of my name being in there and I hope it's all good. I can't see it. I'm lying. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but I simply can't. Because I have to do other shite. No, I mean like house stuff. But sometimes it's a little bit poxy, you know? So I know I look a bit rough, but I haven't showered, I haven't gelled the L hair, I haven't brushed the tunes, you know? So there's a few things need to be had before I look A1 charm. But before I do that, you know I need to consume copious amounts of my medicine. Which I can't because it didn't arrive. Bastard. Oh, sorry. Oh, and you know what? You can't cancel it or change address. It has to get sent back to the pharmacy up north to be relabelled. So I won't be here till Monday. That's great, isn't it? That's really good, that is, you know? Now, I've got some shit going on. Hold on 1 second. I've got a lot going on. I've got smelly cat food bin. I need to get the bleach for this thing. 1 second. There's bleach around somewhere. Hold on. I'll bring this and see the cute kitties first because they're on asleep. Hold on. Now, right, I do kind of look like a bit of a ruffian today, but look, we're not all beautiful every day. I need bleach for that. We don't have bleach. I only have this. La 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 la. I do. Oh. I would like to say to that one person that thinks I should go to the emergency room, I have in the past, and they keep telling me to go home. Now I don't know what happens when you use toilet gel on a cloth, but I'm assuming it's some sort of bacterial killing action. And all the shit I put into my body, I'm assuming it's not going to do anything wrong. And then I'm going to wipe down the counters with it, so I'm assuming it's not going to do anything really bad. Let's just do a lot of assuming today. Oh, this stuff, whatever it is, it's toilet gel, but it's now going on my sponge. You have to adapt in this world. And I do get very lazy. I have a lazy left eye when I'm really high. Medicated, not high, medicated. Sir, you look kind of odd. Are you okay? I'm just medicated. Thanks. Are you alright? You look like a cunt. Sir, what do you mean by that? Well, you look like a bit of a cunt. So I'm just wondering, are you okay, bitch? Excuse me, excuse nothing. I told you I did not want my son or daughter eating that halal shit. Sir, it's compulsory. I don't give a fuck. Halal my ass. Fucking halal this and halal that. Suck my halal ass. How about that? How about if they implement that, right, then all of us need to start fucking bring a fucking barbecue to outside your kids' school so they're allowed to do it. And say, here, love, I'll meet you outside, beside the fucking hopscotch on the swing. I'll meet you outside and we'll have a nice little pork chop on there for lunch. Yeah, suck my halal asshole. Fuck you and your halal. Suck my asshole. So you're telling me, right? You're telling me that shooting a cow in the head or electrician gun where it goes dunk, and it's basically in a coma, and then it gets its neck. I'm sorry, I've been in a barge already, whatever they're called, and you're telling me that you tying it down from 70 people going, and then you cut its throat and then sit and let there going, and then you fucking stick your hand up its arsehole. Suck my asshole. Suck my ass. Everything's haram. Everything I do is haram, so everything you do is haram now as well, you bastard. I'd be outside schools with bacon sandwiches, giving them out proud. What you mean? Fuck you. You know? Oh, fuck. Now, I haven't been keeping up with the chat, guys, but I have been doing that purposely. Don't you want somebody to love? I was born in the fire and I feel good. I hope this doesn't, fuck it, doesn't matter. I believe in angels, as long as they don't fucking haunt me. I believe in Charlie's Angels. Right, now I'm just wiping stuff down for no reason, but the cloth is all disinfected and stuff. It's all good. This can go straight out because it has caffeine in it. Okay. Oh, why haven't I rap? Get that in now. Get a little bit of hot water in there. Don't be afraid to get in there and fucking clean shit, you know? One day you'll be too old and you'll be like, oh, I miss getting up on the chair and cleaning the windows. Remember I used to get up and do the dusting? Yeah. You were great, you were. Do you remember? Yeah. Yeah. Fucking brilliant the washing, you know what I mean? Keep it all disinfected and shite, smelling good. I told you, I don't need medication. Mine's on the way. It's just 2 weeks late. Oh, fuck with homie. Now, see, this is disgusting juice now. That's it. Smells like summer in there now. Smells like a summer rainbow. Woo! I feel alive. Well, they say some of the saddest people pretend to be some of the happiest, don't they? Now, so I just taught you a little lesson on fucking bastard, you. I believe in angels. Fucking eyeballs. Got toilet stuff in my eyes. It burns. It really burns. Keep blinking. You'll go away. I heard that's what you do. You meant to blink as many times as you can. I heard many stories at the asylum. Hey, how would you leave without me? Fuck steak and all that. Louis, where's the black bag? Where is the black bags? Hmm? We had them earlier. Where did they go? They couldn't have gone far. Oh, unfortunately, I found them. Sometimes you gotta get a little bit crazy, I swear to God. I couldn't give a fuck who was outside. Tom Cruise could be there taking pictures. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck if the house moved to do. I believe in angels, just as long as they don't haunt me. Right now, you stay like that because I said so, yeah? I didn't ask you to be all baggy, I wanted you to be all fucking tight-fitting and all that. Why do you always have to go against what I fucking said? That's not what I asked. You fucking cunt. Oh man. Oh, now we run into difficulty. Oh, take your time. The difficulty is not there, you simply imagine it. That's the fucking problem. You son of a haram bastard. Get in there, yeah. Now you get into the real dirty, stinky bit, you know? Use a bit of fucking mist. Oh, Jude's going live, guys. Everyone go over to Jude. Give me phone a break for a minute. Everyone go over to Jude, right? Everyone, thanks for sharing your morning with me. Thanks for showing love and respect. Everyone, let's go over to Jude's and have a good time. Let's go. Let's go.